All right, y'all, back to work. Boy, fantastic job today. How about that gorgeous range we saw, 10 o'clock Eastern time, and that bear trap we saw off the low. I mean, almost a perfect setup we talked about last night. What a fun day to be trading today, and hope you guys made a bunch of money out there today as well. Now, we have a lot to talk about tonight because it looks like the buyers just completed their rotation on the higher time frame, the hourly time frame. We've been talking about that all week. It seems like it's time for the bears to have some fun the rest of the week. I got a bunch of bull traps on my radar for tomorrow. 3 types of bull traps I'm tracking for tomorrow. And as always, we're going to cover all my entries, exits. I'm going to give you guys an easy roadmap to make some money tomorrow as well. So charts are ready. Enough of the intro. As always, thanks for tuning in. It's been a fun week to be a trader. Let's go make some more on Thursday morning. Got the S&P SPY ready to go tonight. Nasdaq triple Qs are all ready. I have 4 simple but very important clues on these charts in front of us that are telling me where I think the winning trades are waiting for tomorrow. One of those 4 clues is right here on the hourly time frame. We've been talking about this the last couple of weeks. The hourly time frames right now are all in one big trading range. Rotate up, rotate down, rotate up, and it looks like it's about to be the time for the bears here to have some fun for that rotation back down again, rotating up, down, up. And again, it looks like those buyers should be about done here. And it's time for the bears to have some fun as they rotate back down again. That's one of 4, and that's a really big clue, right? Big clue here, the first clue. I have a few more clues on some lower time frames, some tick charts to time some entries for tomorrow. But the second clue, though, is over on the calendar. Tomorrow morning's Thursday morning. Got some stuff right there, 8:30 Eastern time, durable goods, home sales at 10 o'clock. I really don't think those are going to be big market catalysts. We will definitely be tuning in and listening into the White House. The tariff talk right now is obviously dominating the markets right now. My biggest thing, though, for tomorrow is tomorrow night. We got Intel and Alphabet. Remember, everyone's been wondering if the demand for all these data centers will keep up, and that'll be a big one tomorrow night. This is important because tomorrow afternoon, just be careful because markets, they do kind of weird things a couple hours before those big earnings. So just be careful tomorrow afternoon. But again, I don't think really the tariff talk right now is the biggest thing we are watching. That is a second clue for us here tomorrow. Be careful in the afternoon. Clues number 3 and 4. Let's now go to some tick charts here right now. There's 2 really big clues right now on these tick charts. And by the way, if you're watching for the first time tonight, that is a 7,000 tick chart. All these time frames are going to be tick charts here going forward. And that is the 21 EMA, by the way, the only indicator we use to find lots of trades in our trade room. There are 2 really big clues here on this tick chart. One clue is this bearish move down into a trading range. Now, bearish ranges, they love to rotate back and forth. And because we have the bearish bias right now on the hourly time frame, because the hourly time frame is rotating down, we expect now for potential for a breakout pullback. So when I see a bear range like this, the 2 things to look for is bull traps off the highs and breakout pullbacks off the low. That definitely opens up some trades for us. The final clue, though, right now, which I love this clue too, is this range up here. Now, why would that range be important? Well, because whenever we see range breakouts, what happens? Breakout, pullback. So I'll tell you, one of my favorite trades for tomorrow would be a bit of a head fake off that low, pop up, and a beautiful bull trap off the high here. So in fact, I think there could be some bull traps above the breakout pullback zone, above that high of day today, and of course, very similar stuff over on the Nasdaq. So I do want to talk about a couple different types of bull trap patterns as we go higher. We're going to cover that a bit later on in the video because especially we start getting some tariff talk tomorrow. But really though, right now, I love the idea of getting involved with this thing as it rotates down below that low. Let's talk about 3 different ways to make some money, to profit from a move going lower. And then later on in the video, we'll cover the bull traps up around that high here. So first things first, look what happened over here. As we went lower, we got that separation off the moving average. And look what happens as they pull back. Everybody piles on above that high, right? As we go lower, I would love to look for that pattern as we run lower. If we can get some separation off that moving average, a lower low in price, and I get above that prior high, that'd be a great way to begin the process selling short as we go lower, right? This is basically a technical bull trap like I teach in our free trading classes, right? If you're in that free class, that should sound familiar, right? Okay, that's the first one. Now remember, anytime we break out of a trading range, the breakout leg is a measuring leg. Okay, size of the breakout leg, we pin it right here. That's gonna give us now our target. What I'd love to do then is now use the underbelly of that trading range for a breakout pullback. Now, breakout pullbacks, they're very simple. What I always do is I wait for a pullback, ideally get somewhere up around the underbelly of that range, and then use a simple bull trap pattern. We call it a 2-try bull trap. As we pull back to that moving average, because guys, I'm not gonna pick a top on this. I'm not gonna blindly sell that area. What I'll do is I'm gonna use a very simple bull trap pattern. Let buyers try once, let them try twice. Notice lower low, always a lower low. Like up here, right? We go up, buyers once, buyers twice, lower low, and sell back down from there. Once I get those buyers trying once and trying twice, now I know where their stops are. Now I know where their pain is, and I can run that sucker running back down again. So as we go lower here, I'd love to jump in on a somewhat aggressive technical bull trap and then use that 2-try bull trap on what is basically a breakout pullback off the underbelly of that trading range. Now, let's talk about some variations of this, because there's 2 more variations that I want you to be aware of. You know, for example, a lot of times what happens is when we break down like this, we begin to grind going lower. And what this does is it allows us to find a channel off the low like this and off the high like this. So I would love to get that run down, pop up, and a breakout pullback. But if we don't get that, if it pops down and begins to grind, remember, grinding trends, whenever we grind away from the moving average, separation equals strength. I'm gonna draw a trend line off the low. I'm gonna bring that trend line up around that high. Now here's the magic. Look left, find some prior swings, and the magic happens when I can get a bull trap short above that high. I love to trap those buyers in above the top of that moving average. 1, 2, lower low, and bull trap back down again. Now again, think about this. The breakout leg is the measuring leg, right? So if we don't get that breakout pullback, if we start just chopping around, grinding down like this, I will draw that trend line off that low, up around that high, and whatever you do, do not miss the first test off the top of that channel. I should also mention too, this is kind of a minor version of a pop and grind. What if we did this? What if we wound up rolling lower like this? See, this is a major version. This would really be great, right? Imagine a market now kind of grinding down like this, and think about now that type of new channel, right? That's a variation of that as well. Again, I'm not gonna pick a top on this, trap those bulls in, and squeeze those stops running lower. Now on this one, if I get a more of a major pop and grind like this, I'm gonna look for one of those add-on trades, that separation, that lower low, and that move right above that high. So again, just some variations of this here, a bull trap up the high of that channel, and again, it's a bit of an add-on, right? Lower low, separation, just like I showed there at the beginning of the video up there, right? That add-on trade right there. Now, I have one more variation because I want to talk about what if we go lower here into a range down here? In all reality, if we go lower into a trading range, that could really be the best thing for us and the easiest way to make money tomorrow. I want to talk about that in more detail here. Before we do that though, let's slow down for a second because I know most folks watching right now, you know these patterns already. You're making money with these already. But if you're here for the first time right now, this might be a brand new language, a brand new strategy. Don't you worry though, I teach this entire roadmap. In fact, I have a ton of examples of bull traps, add-on trades. I teach all of this in my free trading classes. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put a link up top here for you, upper right-hand corner. Guys, the markets are way too good right now not to be making consistent profit. So I'll drop a link up top there. Hit that link that popped up there and take that free trading course, because the strategy I teach in that video course will teach you a simple trick we use in our members trade room that literally tells us exactly where the winning trades are going to be each day. More importantly, I want to teach you my 4 favorite entry setups so you can time better entries, make a lot more money. Like I said, the markets are way too good right now not to be making consistent profits. So if you're still missing the best entries each day, if you've lost your confidence in your current strategy, hit that link that popped up there. Watch that free trading course, because everyone loves all the trade examples I include. I have a ton of trade examples in that short video series. So hit that link up top there. Best part is it's completely free for you. Oh, also too, keep in mind too, guys, I'm going to put all the important links you'll need to learn the roadmap, time better entries, make a lot more money out there consistently. I'll put all the details for description of the YouTube video. Start first on that free video class. Most folks start making money all from that free video course. Start there first. And don't forget too, if you're on Twitter or X, I post a ton of charts and videos and mindset stuff during the day. So if you're on X, give me a follow. Again, all the details you'll need to learn the whole system and hopefully earn a lot more because of it. I'll put those linked in the description there of the video. All right, where did we leave off? I wanted to pause there and make sure everyone watching for the first time right now knows where to go out and learn all the entry tactics I'm talking about here tonight. Okay, we talked about that breakout pullback. Yes, we did. We talked about the pop and the grind going lower, the minor and the major, right? Okay, one more variation, and really it might be the best one we get for tomorrow is what if this thing ran lower? What if we hear something overnight? What if China responds overnight? Market drives lower, gets back to that gap there, and starts going sideways in a range down here. Remember, ranges love to rotate. So just like up top here, how I want to use that breakout pullback zone for a short, and we'll talk about that a bit later on the Nasdaq, so don't go bailing on me here just yet on this. Remember now, in this case now this area becomes a breakout pullback. Think about range rotation. So now, if we go sideways in a range here, now it becomes even easier. These are the easiest ones to make money with, because now as we pop up now, I can now use that 21 EMA. I can wait for those buyers once, buyers trying twice, and I can squeeze those stops, trapping those buyers, and I can look for that run back down again. Now remember, unlike a regular move lower, now the amount above, the amount below, now we know where that final target is. Okay, now remember, when you find yourself in a winning trade, do not take your foot off the gas pedal. Add to your winners. We add to our winners by using that same pattern. What was it again? Separation, lower low, and a move right above the high. That pattern right there, that same pattern is what I now want over here. Just a very smaller example of that, right? So shallow pullback, lower low in price. And again, the answer now is the short, adding to our winner off of that high. Again, it's a bull trap above the high of that range. Think about a breakout pullback off the previous range, and then add to that winner as it rotates back down and takes the pendulum swing in the opposite direction. Boy, I'll tell you, I love that setup for tomorrow. Now, let's talk about going higher here. We've had a lot of tariff headlines the past couple days. We may see a strong shot going higher. I got a bunch of different trades I'm tracking for, a bunch of bull traps up there if we do go screaming higher overnight here. Let's now go to the Nasdaq here right now, because Nasdaq's getting lonely over here right now. Look at that beautiful range we have right now on the higher time frame. And again, I know it sounds kind of crazy this week, right? But that's all we're doing, rotating off the highs, lows, highs, lows. And again, it looks like it's time for the bears to have their fun the rest of the week here this week. You'll notice though here on the Nasdaq right now, they haven't completed their pendulum swing. So I wouldn't totally count these buyers out yet. So I want to make sure we've got a good game plan if we do get one more leg higher. And of course, this will also apply to the S&P as well. Now, before we dive into tick charts though, and talk about some entries if we go higher tomorrow, if you're enjoying this video right now, please help me grow this channel by hitting that like button, and make sure you subscribe. I know we're all busy people these days. I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching my videos. So thank you for all the likes, subscribes, all the support in the comment section. Now let's dive in and talk about our Nasdaq. Remember, we don't trade time charts. Time charts are so much more difficult to trade with. Trust me on this. Get yourself some tick charts from NinjaTrader or TradingView. Get yourself some tick charts. It makes pattern recognition a whole lot easier. Okay, now, we mentioned earlier on the S&P, same stuff, right? There's your range, previous range right there. Again, we go lower, breakout, pullback off that trading range. Pop and grind. Okay, same stuff, right? So same exact stuff we talked about earlier on the S&P can be applied literally exactly the same way here on the Nasdaq. But what if we don't, right? What if this thing holds and runs and goes higher here? Good question. First of all, you probably know already, right? The underbelly of that range. And I love this chart too, because look at this. That level right there, they never got the breakout pullback off it. That is unfinished business on both the S&P and the Nasdaq. So I would love to go up here. I would love to go up. You know, get up into this area up top here. You can see that channel I got there too, right? That channel off the low, off the high like that. That would be beautiful too, right? But get up, right? Get this thing going higher here. Get that moving average coming up. Get those buyers trapped in once, twice. And remember, it's a range rotation. So now the amount above, the amount below, you know this already now, right? You're an expert now on range trades. As it goes lower, we don't get lazy. We don't sit back and relax. We look for that separation. We look for that lower low. We look for that add-on as we go, right? Okay, that's easy right there. Same over here, right? Same pattern right there. Lower low, above that high, no surprise. Remember, it's all about separation. It's all about that separation. When it separates away from the moving average, that is where the magic happens, because separation equals strength. Now, let's face it. We may not get that bull trap pattern up there, okay? There's a very good chance here we may run up and just get whacked right back down again. We may not get a 1-2 back down. So if all we get is a V top up there, because it can easily happen, right? Go back to retest the high, or we get up here, right? We get up, we get whacked back down again. If I go higher and I don't see the chance for 2 tries up here, it'll almost always do something like this, where it'll V-top and begin grinding back down. The grinder is the giveaway. Once it does that, I mark a trend line off the low, pin that trend line up around the high, and remember, look left, find some of these prior swings. And my favorite is always the first test of that new channel, again, just above a prior swing. Ideally, above that prior swing, top of that channel there, that is a V-top variation. Again, I want to get that bull trap up there, but if we don't get it, this will be a close second place. Now, what if we really get a strong move higher, right? What if this thing really jumps up? We get a beautiful 1-2 bull trap up there, and they run back. Sometimes what happens is that move higher is so strong. We know whenever we see a strong move in one direction, what happens? All that momentum is going to want to retest that high before we get that big move back down again. So in my trade room, we call these retest trades. These are some of our favorites, and because the hourly time frame is right up around the top of that range we saw on the hourly chart, if we run up, whether or not we get our bull trap for a short back down again, but be aware, it may run up, we may get that run lower, it may try one more time, it may retest. Now think about this. Anybody who buys down here, where are they taking their profit? Yeah, up around the highs, right? So buyers down here become sellers up here. Is this a good place to buy? Please say no, right? Please say no. It's definitely not a good place to buy on both the S&P and Nasdaq. We're right around those big highs up there. Look at those big highs up there. Not just Nasdaq, it's also S&P as well. So I would have no complaints whatsoever if this thing makes a strong run up, pulls back, retest that high, then do it again. Do it again. This is not a reversal. It needs a lot more than that. than a reversal. And we'll talk about that in just a moment here. Don't you worry. Now, we go up. We retest the high here. Let them try once. Let them try twice. Let those rookies, these are rookies up here, we assume, right? My first mentor would say, let those buyers chase it. Let them dig their own grave up there, because once they do, now I can use their stops to fuel that sucker back down again. And I'll tell you right now, on this retest trade, on this one, these love to just dump, right? To dump. Everybody gets trapped, right? We go up, we retest, 1, 2, and dump off the high. This happens all the time in these big wide ranges on the hourly time frame. What I want you to keep in mind is as it rolls off that high, don't start counting all that money, right? Get into it again and look for that add-on. I'm telling you right now, once you learn to add to your winners, and that comes with confidence, and confidence comes from experience, right? So keep doing it with us. You'll get the hang of this here in no time flat. I've helped a lot of people master this stuff over the past almost 20 years now of teaching this stuff. So a double top, a retest trade, bull trap, right? Bull trouble the high, and an add-on, right, as we go lower. And again, if you're watching for the first time right now, you better get that free trading class, because I have a ton of trade examples of exactly what I'm drawing here on the chart here right now. All right, now, one more variation of this, okay? One more variation. It's not likely, but let's say tomorrow we get some more headlines tomorrow, right? All of a sudden now, we get this huge run up, right? This big run up. We have a lot of resistance up overhead. Go back to our hourly chart, and you can see there's a lot more resistance up there. Think about that 19,386 area, right? That 19,386 area is right up there. So let's just say, for example, let's play devil's advocate right now. If I see a really strong rip going higher here, what does that tell me? All of that momentum is going to want to pull back and retest that high before we get that run back down into that range, okay? Keep that in mind. So with that said, I do not want to, if this thing rips going higher, I don't want to use a standard bull trap, 1, 2. I don't want to sell as we're going lower. Again, in this scenario, this is a blow your hair back, whoa, very big move going higher, okay? It's a very big, very strong move going higher. That is the situation now, okay? The buyers are not playing around. I do not want to sell as we go lower, because I'm gonna get my face ripped off, right? I'm gonna get stopped out. It'll be a bear trap. It'll go back up, take the high out, and then come back down. Okay, so how do we work around that? What's basically a bear trap right there? How do we work around that? We work around that with what's called a crown reversal. Crown reversals are very simple. Crown reversals are 1, 2, and a technical, and you'll learn this term, technical bull trap, in the free trading course. This one is a very small adjustment, but it's very important, because now I'm getting into this thing right there. Right? I'm getting short now before we go lower, right? Not down here. Now, what I'll do is, and we talk about this in the free trading classes, is a 1-to-1 first target, right? Quick first target. Stop moves down to point of entry. Now the risk is off, right? Now I've got my 1-to-1. Now my risk is off now. Hopefully it keeps on going, but if it doesn't, now I've got my first target. My risk is off. Now go ahead, right? Be my guest. Retest the high, and I'll do it again, right? And I'll do it again. Now, on the retest trade, I can be a lot more aggressive. Now I can go 1, 2, because now I know where that high is, right? Now I know where buyers here become sellers up there. Does that make sense, guys, right? So very important, we understand that basic principle. If it really rips higher, it's going to want to retest that high before it goes back down. It's because of momentum. Momentum very strong, right? So on those situations, it's 1, it's 2, but I need to be getting short as high as I possibly can, right? Because I need to make sure I have my target hit, my stop move down, before we get that next run going higher, okay? Again, hopefully I'm wrong about it. Hopefully it just rips and runs lower. Easy winner, right? But if it doesn't, at least now I'm protected. If it runs lower and then runs back and retests the high now again, anybody who buys here, they're taking their profit here. I can be a lot more aggressive on the retest trade, right? The retest trade back up, buyers once, buyers twice. Now I can sell as it goes back down because now I know where buyers will re-enter. Make sense, right? Okay, that structure, very important you understand that. If you don't understand why we wait, if you don't understand why we look for that pattern, I would not be trading into a very strong shot going higher. You have to understand the principle behind the reason why we make a small adjustment in that scenario, be a lot more aggressive on the retest. And as always, remember, don't forget too, strong run up. We don't get a bull, we don't get that bull trap up there. It V-tops, grinds back down. These are easier. They're not as lucrative, right? But they're easier because now momentum turns over, right? Makes sense? Off the low, off the high. And again, these are easier because now momentum's turned over. I can be a lot more aggressive on that one. I mean, in all reality, these are almost guaranteed winners. No, nothing's guaranteed, right? But I'll tell you right now, if we take out that high up there and we just whoop and run right back down again, we start separating off that moving average and grinding down. I mean, come on, right? That is a very high percentage trade there. And again, as it rolls lower, remember now, this range down here wants to drag this thing lower. You better add to that winner if we get something like that, because I'll bet everybody will pile in on that add-on. All right, guys, that's the game plan, along with some variations for tomorrow. Now, speaking of tomorrow, don't forget the place to be is in our trade room, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Guys, I can't think of any better way to learn to trade. Come on, do it with me every morning at the opening bell. As always, guys, I'll put all the important links you need to learn the roadmap, time better entries, make a lot more consistent profits, guys. Grab that free trading course first. Enjoy all the trade examples I include in that video series. Then come join me in my trade room and we'll do it together. In the meantime, guys, be well out there. Be nice to each other, will ya? And be here next time. Adios, amigos. Bye for now.